Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Catherine?
I am fantastic. I was thinking about this today. We're on decade number 2. It's just time is flying with the amount of gratitude stories that we get to listen to and publish and produce. This is just amazing. Who would have thought? I was thinking about it today, walking the streets of Salt Lake City and meeting. I'll introduce myself and then we'll tell our story. So to our audience, I'm live streaming to you today from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and my name is Rara. I'm here with my amazing partner. I'll let you introduce yourself.
And I am Lori Del Gradecki, and I am outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
You may be wondering how we got together, being in two different countries, really. Right? It says global international call. You may be wondering if you're watching for the first time because this is the first time you're watching our guest tonight. We have a great story about how we ended up right here, just trusting the process. And I know Lori's going to tell the story, but when I look at the video that's on our website about when we met, it brings me right back to that moment. So if you have never seen that, it's there. It lives there. Someone captured us right on stage, meeting for the first time. So, when you meet people for the first time and they're important to you, you never forget that. And we have one of those professional girlfriend love stories. Lori, would you like to tell it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Catherine and I are both part of a direct sales company called Send Out Cards. And so in our company, each year, the company has an international convention. And at that convention, they have a theme for each year. And so then at the convention, they have an award for whatever that theme was. So way back in 2013, the theme was gratitude. And so the person that wins the award is selected by their peers. So all the thousands of distributors and customers in the company go and they offer whatever, whoever they think should, is the epitome of this award. So our CEO gets up on stage and he just tells all the different accolades and attributes, maybe reads some of the cards of what people turned in of why they nominated that person. And and so he announced Catherine as a winner. So I'm the little technical geek. So I'm in the back and I've got my video, I've got my camera going, and I'm taking and capturing all the shots that I can throw on cards and send to Catherine later to tell her congratulations. And then all of a sudden, our CEO says, for the first time ever, and they never did it again after that either, that there was a tie. And so then he starts telling about the other person that won. And I'm one of the longest standing distributors in the company that's active. And so I know most of the people, and he kept giving all the different attributes and accolades of this person, and I'm like, well, it could be this person. Well, no, then that comment wiped them out. Well, could be this person. Well, that comment wiped them out, right? And then he finally goes to it's a she, not a he. And anyway, then he ends up with my name. So Catherine and I literally met on stage in front of thousands of people, and both of us just, I don't know how we just knew, but like soul sisters, we knew that nothing happens just by coincidence. There's a reason for everything. And like Catherine said, it was kind of like one of those things that, in a relationship is love at first sight, but it's business relationship, it's friendship, and we literally were instant best friends. And Gratitude Girls was born. We didn't know at the time what we were going to do with it, but it was born in like 2 minutes. And now fast forward, what, 11 years later, then we now have been doing the show once a month for all those years. And we've been doing coaching every week, and we've spoke on stage together, and we've traveled together. We've done Gratitude Girls retreats together. We've authored a book together that's an Amazon bestseller, The Gratitude Girls Journal. You should join us in our 100-day challenge. And what else? Did I leave anything out?
Yeah, I know there's lots more that we're not going to tell right now, but I love that you told that, because to give context, right? Like where we started, how we met was remarkable. I remember my knees shaking, and I know you don't ever tell this about yourself because you're very private person about that. But when I was up on stage and I heard Lori's name, I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm going to get to meet Lori Delk Radecki now. Because Lori was known as giving the most gifts in the company. Because there is, sort of tracking for that in companies, who does what, who's performing, who's producing. And Lori gave the most gifts. Excuse me. And I thought, what would that be like to meet Lori? Well, what do you think Lori does 3 seconds after she meets me? She gives me a gift. So true to form, Lori is a true giver. And she gave me a gift that I have to this day, that I'm not in my usual studio today, that is right within arm's reach. And it has been no matter what home we've lived in. And I keep it with me as a remembrance, in addition to the cards that Lori has sent me and continues to send me. I keep it as a reminder of, you just never know what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next in life. And this show was birthed from a wonderful moment. Sometimes things are birthed from moments that aren't wonderful, and they turn into something wonderful. And we have guests that tell stories that are completely remarkable. And tonight is no exception to the rule, because we have, as our third appearance, as her third appearance, this is a first time ever for Gratitude Girls. And I say that not like, I say it humbly, because there's something special about 3 times a charm. And there's something special about what we're going to hear tonight. I'm going to introduce our guest, our friend, Comfort Rexford. Comfort is an entrepreneur, a mother, a grandmother of 2 amazing children, a beautiful granddaughter. Comfort has a track record of high performance sales in beauty and fashion, insurance, and as a real estate agent. Comfort attributes her business success to her lifelong resilience in transforming her life story against the odds. Sit with that for a minute. Against the odds. Comfort is currently writing a book, Arranged Marriage and Dilemma of an African Girl, that features empowering stories about her life and her culture. She had recently created an inspiring online course on improving self-love. Comfort, welcome to the Gratitude Girls.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
How are you today?
I'm awesome. How about you guys?
Yeah, thank you. We're good. We're good. Can you tell our audience what part of the world you're speaking to us from?
I'm in Georgia,
How is
USA.
it there? How is it there in Georgia?
It's warm today. It's been cold, but today is warm.
That's nice to hear. That's what I like about talking to people from all over the world while we're freezing a little bit over here. We're not freezing, but we had some snow today. So Comfort,
Ooh.
it's really nice to have you here again. And it's nice to have you here because there's so much that has happened since the first time you were on the show. And we're celebrating with you. And we're celebrating your courage, and we're celebrating your voice, and we're celebrating your desire to share with the world. So, can you tell us a little bit about what makes you tick? Like, what gets you going and keep going? You know, sometimes people just feel like, oh, I can't do it. I'm tired, or whatever the reason is. I feel like you have some resilience in you based on what we'll be talking about in a little bit. What do you do when you want to keep going?
Mine is appreciation, love. No matter how tired I am, if I just think about where I came from, I was born in Africa, where I grew up, and my father divorced my mother when I was 3 weeks old. And with the help of friends and family, my mother raised me, and I survived. And I end up here. I've been divorced for almost 20 years. I left my husband with $50 in my hand in 2008 or 7, somewhere in there. And I raised my kids, and I work, and now my book. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful, and that just lifts me up and it gives me energy, and I feel like I can do anything.
Comfort, you said something that I bet there are some people that are going to be listening to this carefully. You left your husband with $50 in your hand.
Yes.
Wow. How did you get the courage to do that?
Well, I got to the point where I told my brother, they were trying to get me not to get divorced. I told my brother, I'd rather die than stay in that marriage. It's not like he was doing anything to me. My spirit was broken down piece by piece because the marriage was arranged. My heart was not in it. And we had grown apart. And I want to show my daughter that you don't have to be there just because they put you there. And I want to show other women that you can do your heart desire. It might be hard at first. I was afraid, but I have hope and I have faith. And I deep down inside, I knew I could do it. He didn't think I could do it, but I knew I could do it. And so I was afraid, but I did it anyway.
So
I did it.
what did you do? What did you tell yourself at those moments? Like there you were with how many children at that time?
Too.
2 children, $50. You left your husband of X amount of years who didn't think you could do it, so you didn't have anybody cheering you on. What'd you tell yourself?
None in my family supported me because I think even my brother, who's here with me, I feel like he thought I would be a burden on him if I left my husband and I couldn't take my kids. So he was still pushing me. And he was the one I told I'd rather die than stay in this marriage. And then when I told him that, he was like, how are you going to pay for your mortgage? Da, da, da. I said, I don't care about the house. I left the house. I moved my kids, packed their bed, and I started renting an apartment half for my house. And I just keep moving forward, 1 feet the next. Just took one day at a time, and here we are.
That's amazing. I'm sure that's settling in as our audience and your audience are listening to you right now, processing this information. You know, you talk about success, but you're talking about the steps prior to which leads to your success. Every step is part of our success, right?
Yes.
And what happened like in your mind, because you have a book now. So
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, when were you thinking about writing this book? Was it a day, a week, 20 years, 10 years? How long?
Actually, the book was born probably over 20 years ago. I was still in Mississippi. I think I watched Oprah show about where everybody has a story. And a friend of mine, we were talking. And I said, I want my life story to be a movie because it'll be a beautiful movie. And she said, well, what most people do, they write a book and then the book will turn into a movie. And that's when the book was born over 20 years ago. And I started after I left my husband. At first, my son and I started. We wrote about 12,000 words, and he thought it was a book. It was just a summary. And then 2016, my daughter and I wrote over 40,000 words, and that's when it became a book. And I just finished. Actually, it's gonna be on pre-sale on February 1st. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
And this is the year of the dragon where there's new and change. And you have something that's starting a 20-year journey with the year of the dragon. So if you talk about the 20 years that you just took to birth this book, the next 20 years, it's going to fly right alongside you to all amazing, amazing results and places. Wow, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so curious about so many things. I'll ask you one more question before I have Lori, 'cause I know Lori has questions for you too. So Comfort, you had an arranged marriage. Some people may not even understand what that means. What does arranged mean? My mother set me up with somebody, my father, like what, some people don't know really what the depth means of arranged marriage, because in today's society, maybe it's not as where we are, it's not as popular. So could you share with us how do you know you're going to have an arranged marriage, and then what happens?
Well, he was over here for probably over 10 years, and his family wanting to come home and get married. And I was like probably 22 at the time, and my family wanted me to get married. And so one evening, his family came to my family, and they said I came from a good family and I'm a good girl, so they want me. And at first I said no, but I mean, I'm not going to go into it because we're here. So he came and we did a traditional marriage, and he brought me here. I didn't know him. He's over 12 years older than me. And then when I came, I had nothing in common with him. Nothing. So, I mean, I had a children, and I tried my best because of the kids. But like I said, it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it. So I left.
So this is a tradition from the country that you were born in, and it's common.
It's common. It's not always, I have my boyfriend, but if, let's say back home, if somebody have money and they want you, if you don't go, you're being selfish, especially when the person's in America, and they in our country, I tell you why they do this. We don't have a nursing homes. Our parents depend on us taking care of them. So when you're a girl, they're hoping to find somebody who can take care of you and them. And so for me to come over here, when you read my book, I elaborated, I was a breadwinner for them, and who benefited from my marriage really was my family.
So that's why they didn't support your decision to leave, because now you were taking away the choices for them as they
Exactly.
got older. Because did they believe that you would not be able to supplement that?
Right. I wouldn't be able, even after I left, they used to tell me I need to go back to him because when we were together, we had more money and I could send them more money. But then when we first separated, I couldn't do that, and they didn't like it. But I was like, you want him, you go marry him.
So he could have any relationship he wants as far as you're concerned, but it wasn't with you.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, he was a good person. He just quiet person, down to earth. He just would not for me.
Right.
I love him as a person. I love him. He brought me here, and I appreciate him. He's a father of my children. And now we're friends. But I just did not have affection as a marriage to him.
Mm.
And it was
Mm.
hard.
So were you permitted to get a divorce?
I didn't ask for anybody permission. When I was ready, I was ready. I didn't care what anybody think. I was anybody who come, I was like, you want him, go marry him. I mean, I was just ready.
Those are the steps. When you say one foot in front of the other, you mean it. There was one foot and
Yes.
the other one was right behind you. You didn't drag anything around with you.
Well, I wanted to live 7 years prior to when I left, and my cousin would come and my brother would come and so and so. So at that point, when I was ready, I was ready. There was
Mm.
nobody I would listen to.
7 years. So you thought
Oh,
about that for 7 years.
some people start talking to me in the family because I didn't listen to them. And I'm like, really? It's my marriage. I don't care what you think, you know?
Mm. There are so many great pieces of advice in the things that you're saying right now. You know, the fact that you made your decisions. I don't have to reiterate it. Let our guests like listen to the show twice because it's really a rainbow and a pot of gold right now, the things that you're saying about how you made your decisions. Lori, I'm sure you have some comments for Comfort.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That takes so much courage, right? I mean, the same thing, like not even knowing where your kids are going to sleep that night, and or how you're going to feed them the next day, right? But but yeah, so that's incredible courage, and that could help so many women I know that are watching our show. One thing I do have to ask, and of course, obviously, in that I'm sure have so much gratitude for life and everything that you were able to go through that and not have to go crawling back like everybody said that you would have to, right?
Right.
And it could be that story or it could be another story, but we all have like a million things to be grateful and thankful for, right? And so but if you have just one more story that you could share with us really quickly of just something else that you're grateful and thankful for, would you share that with us?
Well, of course, I'm grateful for my family, my children, my son, my daughter, my grandbaby. My daughter, if it weren't for her, I couldn't have write my book. I wrote every word, but I didn't type every word because she typed it for me, and we edited it over and over, me and hers. I couldn't have done it without her. And so I'm grateful for her. And you said if something I want to share, I wrote a song. So I
Mm.
like to sing that. I
Would
did the valley for my story, which I'm not going to do it all. I'll probably put it on YouTube and people can go listen to it. But I'm just going to do the song. No more pain, no more fear. I am strong. I embrace my strength. In my heart, I find my way to unleash the power from within. I spread my wings and rise above. I'll stand tall. I am proud. With courage, I'm empowered and free.
Mm.
That's incredible. That's
Okay. Thank you. I can imagine you floating as you were singing that song.
I
awesome.
am.
I felt like you were totally off the ground and on your path.
I am.
That's beautiful. So you wrote a book, you wrote songs, you have a movie in your vision.
Yes.
Who's the leading lady?
Somebody asked me. I'm not sure yet. I have to think on that.
Okay, it looks like you've got a lot of things planned out. We're going to keep talking to you about a few other things, but there's a part of our show that we like to pass the mic over to you. It's like, there's the mic, Comfort. So would you, off the cuff, unrehearsed, this show is not rehearsed. The questions are not announced. We do this right from the heart, intuitive, the Gratitude Girls show. We'll give you the show and ask us a question, any question you like. Let us know who you're directing that question to, and if it's the same one for both of us, then we'll be happy to share with you.
Okay, I had two questions. First one is what you guys have planned for your viewers on 2024.
Okay, do you want to tell us, you want to do one question at a time, just in case we can answer it like at the same time?
Okay, and the second one was when are you doing what do you call it? Retreat.
Okay, awesome. Super. So I'll start. Lori and I'll sort of like go in a circle. So we had our first retreat in Canada in September. So we had our Canadian our Canadian retreat. And I'm going to say September 9th. The dates are right behind you on the card, actually. So we were really excited about that. I am thrilled. It was a beautiful, beautiful time of year. Lori's birthday is in the month of September. So there's special months for us. They all are, actually. And that was fantastic. You know, maybe the next one well, it won't be in Canada, that we know. So like we'll do our tours, right? They'll be in different places, islands, estates. And so yes, we did started our Canadian tour. For
Okay.
2024, our audience, our guests, you know, there's different avatars for us, right? There's our clients, and then there's our social following, and then there are people like yourself who talk to us about retreats. We can basically take you on a retreat. You don't have to wait. You just tell us when you want to go, and we'll create your Gratitude Girls retreat for you. So that's what we have in store for 2024.
Okay.
We have our group, and the word is but let's just call it personalized, customized, personalized, because everybody needs something. We do too. And when we get together, we actually feed and nurture one another. And what happens between the three of us is its own entity. And
Yeah.
that entity then gets created, not as a result of a program, but as a result of the gratitude that we have.
Yes.
So there might be a reason that we get together for, let's just say, relaxation, and you might write another book right then and there in front of us, because what we will be able to bring to the table energetically could be
Yes.
something that you never imagined. So that's what we have in store for 2024. I'll let Lori give her version.
Cool. I mean,
I know you are. We're happy that you are. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we haven't announced anything yet, but we do have it in the works. But yes, we do also have, in our personal one-on-one coaching, which we always say is really, you get two for the price of one, right? Because it's
Mhm.
Catherine and me,
Yeah.
and it's just so we have it where we do coaching over Zoom, just like this privately, but we do also have the in person where, you can decide, hey, I want to hire you two for a weekend and, I want one-on-one coaching, two-on-one coaching, personally in person, in-depth coaching. And so we all go to Sedona, Arizona for a weekend.
Oh,
And
let's do that. I love Sedona, Arizona.
intensive retreat for the weekend, and you don't even have to share us with anyone. So that's one of the wonderful things too that we have.
Oh.
Comfort, that question is really, it's a good one because the amount of, I guess it depends on where we are in our life, the amount of focus that we're able to offer. Maybe when we were younger, it might have been different. I
Mhm.
mean, we were always intense. I think we were born intense. Lori and I never have like a thin layer to anything. And because we are able to focus, it gives us this, I'll say edge, I want to remain humble, but I mean an
Mhm.
edge that we have the ability to go deep. And when you say words like, I'm all in, that's aligned with how we are. We're all in. And because we understand that language, that's exactly how we move. We're not in and then out because it snows. We're all right, like what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
We're all in, and that's amazing. That feeling, that sensation that we're giving right now, that vibe, that's what we have in store for 2024.
Awesome. Yay for us. I'm
Yeah, thank
excited. I
you.
can't wait.
Yes, thank you so much. That's a great question. So, Lori, I have a question for you. You're in your new beautiful house. I'm in a different studio. We're always moving around. Like we've got so much going on. Just keep your eye on the moving gratitude girls, right? Like we like to have different surroundings. And, I would like to surprise our audience too. We'll release some things. We'll use a drip campaign. Is there anything tonight that we want to share with our audience before we sort of wrap things up with comfort? Anything that you think we could, well, invite them to come and watch us or hear us or
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, come and watch us on gratitudegirls.com all the time. We have our shows like this posted there, as well as our coachings and trainings posted there. You can go to Amazon and look up Gratitude Girls, journal 100-day challenge, my name or Catherine's name with that. And you can get that and start working on your journal with us. You can probably look for different things on Amazon sometime in the future that might also come up in your searches. And stay tuned. Just make sure you're following us, adding us to your interests, giving us a 5-star review on our podcast if you're listening to us that way, or subscribing on YouTube. But stay tuned, because the same thing, like Catherine said, we're always on the move. We're always doing new things, and just stay tuned and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that about staying engaged. I really like that message because you could go look at a link, right? You can go join us and follow us on a social media, but staying engaged is really the thing. Comfort has a book coming out. Staying engaged with her, because if you didn't watch tonight and you catch this 3 weeks from now, her book will already be out. But if you're engaged with us and you're catching the messages and you're hearing the stories, then you're on top of it. And if you believe that the content is relevant and that it's aligned with you, then you're a fan, right? You're a fan of not only us, but you're a fan of Comforts. And if you have a comment that you'd like to make to Comfort, we're going to give you all the different ways that you can reach her and get her book. And when the three of us are together on our retreat, maybe we'll do a little something special for you. So that way you could continue to see what Comfort's doing and how she progresses with her success, as she will always continue to bring her courage to the forefront. Comfort, I understand what you say intellectually, and then emotionally, I can imagine or try to imagine what it felt like to be 22 and think about something and have two children, and 7 years later and have $50 and take the step. Some people, men, women, families, are not able to take that step because they just don't believe that things will be okay, or believe in a higher power, or believe in themselves. Is there a message that you would like to give to men, women, families that are in situations where it may look grim? Is there something that you would like to say to them?
Yes, I would say we powerful than we think. We have so much power, but we don't know. Just follow your intuition, your heart. It will lead you just one step at a time. I said I do not regret anything in the past because everything was a stepping stone to brought me from where I am today. They all part of my journey. But like you said, most people are afraid. That's why they don't do it. But do it anyway. Do it with fear. Fear is just telling you that it's unknown. That's all. Once you start, all you have to do is make the move. Once you start it, you will do it. We're powerful. This is a leading edge. We are powerful than we think. This is a time of awakening. We are the leading edge. We have the energy, the creator word in our fingertip. We just need to learn to tap into it and use it to our own advantage so we can create a better life for ourselves, a better world for ourselves and our children. We deserve that. And we can do it. We just have to take the first step and have courage. And remember, we are powerful and we are loved.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That is amazing with that because you have a strong commitment and connection to love. There's so many other things that we can talk about with your meditations and your teachings and the things that you share. What you shared with us here tonight, it's really it's deep and it's a lot. And it's a lot to understand that you have put yourself through that as if it's just another day in the life of Comfort Rexford. And you're sitting here with us tonight as if it's in the rearview mirror and you're looking forward. And I think that's a huge, huge inspiration for us, for people who have never gone through that, and for people who have, and for people who don't even understand what a tragedy or fear is because maybe they haven't faced it yet. But if they do face fear for the first time, they'll know that it ain't the boss of them.
Keep moving forward.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, Comfort. Thank you so much. Lori, I love what we did tonight, and I love talking to Comfort. Yeah, nobody's the boss of us, right? You just love and be loved, right, Comfort?
Yes, we do have the power. We just have to exercise it. And it gets stronger the more you exercise. It's just like a muscle.
Right, just like going to the gym.
Mhm.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, so on that note, we'll exercise the muscle that takes us to power,
Yes.
whichever muscle that is,
Yes.
wherever the power lies. Yeah, Comfort, thank you. Everyone will be able to get in touch with you in the show notes. We're going to have all the links that you've given us and ways that they can talk to you. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of interest. The best and best of luck with your book, with your bestseller that's going to be released. We're looking
Thank you.
forward to it. I can't wait to have a signed copy by you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
me
so
too.
much.
Me too, absolutely. And everyone else, if you want to be like Comfort and you want to be on our show, please go to facebook.com/gratitude girls, send us a message right there, share us your story, and let us know. Make sure you give us your contact information. Let us know how to reach back out to you to put you on our schedule. We are booked out about a year in advance, so you have to be patient. But always tune in with us every fourth Tuesday night of every single month. And that's 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific. And we will see you next month. So make sure you tune in with us. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Comfort.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. And remember, we love you. and always you are loved.